Welcome to the Northern Light Webcasting Network. We bring you Western Wisconsin sports via the internet. Stick around and get to know us.
Northern Light Webcasting Network, in conjunction with Colfax High School, presents Viking Pregame. A look at today's Colfax Viking girls game. And now, Viking Pregame.
Good evening and welcome to Colfax High School, where tonight the Vikings, coming off a commanding 65-33 victory over the Mondovi Buffaloes, will take on Ladysmith, who has a record of 6 wins and 1 loss. Rick Olson here, and soon I'll be joined by Dan Petchow as we're getting ready to bring you all the play-by-play action of tonight's non-conference game right here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network. Coming up in this edition of Viking Pregame, we'll take a look at tonight's matchup between Ladysmith and the Colfax Vikings. Then we'll get Coach Doucette's perspective on tonight's game in Coach's Corner. Following that, we'll bring you all the play-by-play action of tonight's game. So it's time to start off the new year with some exciting high school girls basketball. All that coming up right after this brief timeout. You're listening to Viking Pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Hi, I'm Danica Patrick. Watching my nieces grow, play, and learn is amazing, but not every child gets to be carefree. 1 in 6 kids in the U.S. are hungry. This breaks my heart, and it's something that Feeding America is working to change. Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste and gives it to families in need. To help, visit feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Rick Olson back here at Colfax High School, where Dan Petchow and I are getting ready to bring you all the action of tonight's girls basketball game between Ladysmith, with a record of 6 wins and 1 loss, 4-1 in the heart of the North Conference, and the 7-1 Colfax Vikings. The Vikings have a 4-0 record in the Dunn-St. Croix Conference and are sitting right on top of the conference. 2 weeks ago on December 19th, the Vikings defeated the Mondovi Buffaloes by a score of 65-33. In that game, the Vikings were led in scoring by senior guard Taylor Irwin and senior forward Camry Meredith with 11 points each. In addition to Irwin and Meredith, other leading scorers were senior center Rachel Charlo, who tallied 10 points, and Marissa Harmon, who added 7. At 8 games into the season, the leading scorers for the Vikings are Meredith, who's averaging 16.1 points per game, Charlo, who's averaging 12, and Irwin, who's contributing 7.6 points per game. Also helping lead the way for the Vikings are Madison Barstead and Addison Olson, who contribute 4 and 3.8 points per game, respectively. The top 5 rebounders for the Vikings are Meredith with 77, Charlo with 64, Irwin with 32, Barstead with 24, and Addison Olson with 18. Ladysmith comes into tonight's game with an overall record of 6 wins and 1 loss, 4-1 in the heart of the North Conference, following their 64-30 victory over Cumberland on December 19th. Leading the way for Ladysmith in that game was 5'4" freshman point guard Ramily Smith, who scored 16 points. She was followed in scoring by senior Emily Eagle, who added 13 points. Ladysmith started their 2019 and 2020 campaign by running off 5 straight wins to Chautauqua Weyerhaeuser, Stanley Boyd, Athens, Barron, and Cameron, before losing to Northwestern and then defeating Cumberland. Leading scorers thus far on the season are Smith, who's averaging 13.1 points per game, Eagle, who's averaging 11.3, and senior Emma Diekman, who's averaging 11 points per game. The Vikings are looking to tip off the new year so they can continue their domination of the Dunn-St. Croix Conference. On the other hand, Ladysmith is looking to show that although they're a fairly young team with nearly as many freshmen on the varsity roster as seniors, that they're a power to contend with in the heart of the North Conference. So the stage is set for some exciting girls high school basketball action, and we'll have it all right here for you on the Northern Light Webcasting Network. But first, following this timeout, we'll get the coach's perspective as we chat with Viking head coach Joe Doucette on Coach's Corner. You're listening to Viking Pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Sweet strawberry icing. You're in Goodwill, and just past that vintage denim jacket, you spot miniature donut earrings. You lean in. Ah, that's the scent of shopping success. Because at Goodwill, every item you buy funds local job training and more. So bring home those donut earrings and bring home so much good to your community. Goodwill. Bring good home. Brought to you by Goodwill and the Ad Council.
Time now to see what the coaches have to say. It's Coach's Corner, what they look at tonight's game from the coach's point of view. And now, Coach's Corner.
Today we're talking with Viking girls head coach Joe Doucette, and before we get into any basketball business, Coach, did you have a good Christmas?
Yeah, I did, very much. Yep, I'm fortunate to have a great family and got to spend a lot of time with my family.
Terrific. Now it's time to get back to business. So tonight, the Vikings are getting ready to take on Brad Cody's 6-1 Ladysmith Lumberjills, and the Jills are 4-1 in the heart of the North Conference. They're only lost by 4 points at the hands of Northwestern. What can you tell us about Ladysmith, and what challenges do they present?
Well, you know, Brad's a good friend of mine, and he's done a nice job. They are a talented team. I think they're one of the most up-and-coming. They're a young, talented team. Everybody shoots the ball. Everybody, you know, and they attack. So, you know, it's going to test. We have to be able to close out, and, you know, our goal is not give up layups and easy threes. So Brad's done a nice job. They're a very talented team, and you know, you just never know, Rick, coming out of that Christmas break. And, you know, I think we've had a lot of time off, and you're always worried about that, and we'll see what happens.
Well, I was going to ask you about that because we talked about that a little bit earlier this season about long layoffs. Yeah. So what kind of things have you done over this vacation to help keep the girls sharp?
Well, I mean, we've tried to keep it as regular as we can, but you definitely got to respect the thing that, you know, the families and things like that. So, you know, a lot of our kids practiced a lot, but, you know, a few of our key kids were gone and missed some time. So, you know, you just never know. I think we'll be fine. You know, we got a veteran crew, but, you know, I think if we defend and rebound and you know, and get off to a good start, we'll be fine.
Okay, now are there any injuries or illnesses that would go into this after that long layoff?
Well, I think Jana Bovey's been the one that's not felt the best over the break, so we're going to give her a chance to, you know, come off the bench and just see how she feels. So, but Jana's been sick and missed a few days for us.
Okay, Coach Doucette, good luck on tonight's game. Hopefully the Vikings will find a way to bump that record up to 8-1.
Yeah, I hope so. Thanks, Rick.
You've been listening to Coach's Corner, where they look at tonight's game from the coach's point of view. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Did you know that some vaccines prevent cancer? I'm Dr. Bill Schaffner of the National Foundation for Infectious Diseases, and I want to talk to you about a vaccine that protects against the most common cause of liver cancer, the hepatitis B vaccine. Hepatitis B virus can stay silent in the body for decades before symptoms develop. Many adults need vaccination, including those up to age 59 with diabetes. To learn more, visit adultvaccination.org. That's adultvaccination.org.
You've been listening to Viking Pregame, with a look at today's Colfax Viking girls game. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network. Stay tuned. Coming up next is live Colfax Viking basketball.
Hi, I'm Amanda Pete. Like all new parents, my husband and I want what's best for our baby. When it was time for our daughter's immunizations, we wanted the facts. So we carefully researched vaccines. We spoke with doctors and other experts and asked some tough questions. We decided that vaccines were the best thing for our child. I urge you to get the facts. Learn the facts about vaccines so you can make the best healthcare decisions for your family. Thank you.
A message from the American Academy of Pediatrics and VaccinateYourBaby.org.
Man, I love my kids so much. I once sat for 3 hours in the cold rain to watch her soccer team lose by 18 goals.
I love my kids so much, I once used a tube to suck snot out of her stuffed nose at 3 a.m.
You win.
Love your kids? Love them enough to make sure they're in the right car seat. From toddlers to tweens, visit nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat to find the right seat for their age and size. Keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
First, I hold my hands out like they're on a steering wheel. Then I look over my shoulder. 1, okay, cool guy. 2, 3 times. Next, oh, I put it in reverse. Meep, meep, meep. Then I take it up and down, up and down. And that, kiddos, is called the forklift.
Dance like a dad. It's a great way to make a moment with your kids.
Now that's dancing. Sure beats flossing.
Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Colfax Viking basketball is on the air. The Northern Light Webcasting Network, in conjunction with Colfax High School, proudly presents today's girls Colfax Viking game. Join us as the 2019-2020 Vikings strive for success in the Dun St. Croix Conference. And now back out for coverage of today's girls Colfax Vikings game.
And that was Drew Gibson doing the national anthem as we're getting ready for today's game between the Colfax Vikings and the Ladysmith Lumberjills. And for those of you unfamiliar with that team name, the Ladysmith boys teams are all known as the Lumberjacks, and so of course the girls teams have to be the Lumberjills.
Of course.
That just makes all kinds of sense to me. And so they're doing the starting lineups down on the floor, but Dan, why don't you go through them for us?
Yeah, here's the starters for Colfax tonight. A couple of different starters tonight. We have number 4, Taylor Irwin, number 10, Morgan Schleisner, number 22, Josie Steinke, number 24, Maddie Barstead, and number 44, Rachel Charlo. For the Lumberjills, their starters are number 2, Brittany Wiles, number 10, Allison Clark, number 11, Emily Eagle, number 15, Ramily Smith, and number 22, Emma Dykman.
That's Diekman.
Diekman.
But yes, and what's real interesting is they are starting 2 freshmen on that starting lineup. What is it? It's Clark and Smith.
Yeah, that's going to be something to watch for tonight.
That's pretty unusual, although the Vikings are starting a freshman tonight as well in Maddie Barstead. And no, she's a sophomore. I take that back. Not starting a freshman. She is a sophomore. But we're going to get ready to get this one going. No pep band tonight, so we can actually hear each other. That's kind of a nice change, Dan.
Yeah, usually I have to kind of push the earmuffs closer to my ears, but we're good tonight.
Now the Lumberjills are out on the floor, and it looks like Allison Clark is going to be jumping center. Here come the Vikings. Rachel Charlo to jump for the Vikings. And the other 4 Lumberjills are all dropping back, expecting a defensive play. A tip goes to Schleisner for the Vikings, and she's got it between the circles. Feeds it over to the left side to Steinke, out high to Charlo, into the lane to Barstead. Turns, puts it up off the glass and in. Maddie Barstead draws the first points for the Vikings tonight as they take a 2-0 lead. Lumberjills bring it down the floor. Clark with it. We have a whistle and a foul, and she took an extra step.
Yep, double dribble. Yeah, good start for Colfax tonight. Got into the paint early and got position.
So Schleisner brings it across the timeline for the Vikings. Passes it over to Barstead. Works at the top of the key. Kicks it to Taylor down the baseline. Back out to Charlo. Puts up a shot, no good. Rebound. Taken down quickly by Smith. Kicks it out over to Wiles. Puts it up, no good. Rebound. Chased down by Diekman. Diekman passes it back out. And a long 3 puts it in. That was Smith with the shot for Ladysmith, and they take a 3-2 lead. Schleisner feeds it over to Steinke on the left, to Irwin out at the top of the key.
Into the lane to Charlot, lays it up off the glass and in. And the Vikings reclaim the lead at 4-3. 16:46 to go in the first half. Wiles with it. She takes it across the timeline. Brings it down to Eagle. Eagle out between the circles to Clark. Clark takes it over to the right side. Dishes it off, and now it goes over to Eagle. Eagle over to Clark. And down to Diekman, back out to Clark, and over to Eagle on the left. Eagle is free throw line extended left. Back out high to Wiles at the top of the key. Wiles trying to direct some traffic. Gets it to Diekman on the right side, or check that on the left side. Diekman drives into the lane and feeds it out to Wiles, puts up a three, no, and the rebound taken down by Schleisner for the Vikings. She takes it down through the center circle. Down into the left corner, gives it to Steinke. Feeds it out to Schleisner, or to Charlot, who tries to put it up off the glass, and she gets fouled on the way in. She's going to go to the line, shooting two. Shot was no good. Rachel Charlot at the line to shoot two. First one's on the way and good. The foul, by the way, was on Emily Eagle. It was her first personal, first team foul. Second is on the way, and it's also good. Vikings up to a three-point lead, 6-3. We're still pretty early on. Inbound pass is stolen by Schleisner, and we have a blocking foul called against the Lumberjills, and Schleisner draws the defensive block. That foul was on Brittany Wiles, her first personal, second team foul. Taylor to inbound it. She gets it to Charlot. Out to Steinke. Steinke to Schleisner. Schleisner to Barstead. Barstead drives down the side of the lane. Kicks it out to Steinke. Steinke to Schleisner. Schleisner at the free throw line. Gives it to Charlot. To Irwin. Puts up a long shot and it's in. Three-pointer for Taylor Irwin.
Good ball movement.
Long pass down the floor by the Lumberjills, and Eagle lays it up and in. 9-5, Vikings have the lead. Schleisner with it, gets it to Irwin. Irwin to Charlot. Charlot kicks it out to Steinke, puts up the three, and she hit it. That barely moved the net. I was looking for the official to put his hands up because I couldn't tell for sure. Lumberjills get it across the timeline. Wiles has it. She's over on the right side. They get it out high to Clark. Clark to Diekman. Back to Clark, who drives the lane. Kicks it out to Eagle. Eagle puts up the shot, and it's good. She was out near the arc, but just inside of it. So it's a two-pointer. 12-7, Vikings on top. Schleisner brings it across the timeline to Charlot. Out to Steinke, then over to Barstead. Now down to Charlot at the baseline. Charlot out to Barstead from three. No, off the back of the iron, no good. Rebound taken down by Diekman. Diekman gets it to Smith, who brings it across the timeline. Looking for somewhere to go with it. She's closely guarded by Schleisner. Now she feeds it over to Wiles. Wiles between the circles. Gets it back over to Smith. Smith drives into the lane, and she gets tied up, and we're going to call a foul on that one. And the foul is on Schleisner. That's her first personal, first team foul on the Vikings. And we have some wholesale substitutions for the Vikings. Charlot's the only one who stayed in. We have Addie Olson and Addison Olson into the lineup. Camry Meredith is in also. Inbound pass and gets knocked out of bounds by Taylor Irwin. So the Lumberjills will maintain possession. Inbound it to Meltz, who came into the lineup. Gets it out to the top of the key to Rands, who puts up a three-pointer, no good. Long pass down to Charlot. Lays it up, and they're saying no, she stepped out of bounds. Or no, there was a foul on the floor before she went up with it. And the foul was on Holly Rands for the Lumberjills. That's her first personal, third team foul. Irwin to inbound it. She gets it out high to Addison. Over to Meredith. Meredith into the lane to Irwin. Back out to Meredith. Puts up a three. Bounces off the iron. No. Rebound taken down by Ladysmith. And quickly down the floor come Jills. Meltz has it. Gets it out to Rands. And now it's Clark with it. This is Emerson Clark. She's high, wide, and left. Out to the top of the key. And she passes it off to Smith. Smith drives to the lane, kicks it out. And now back to Smith. Smith puts up a three-pointer, no good. Rebound taken down by Charlo. Gets it over to Addie and brings it down the floor. Addie feeds it over to Addison, puts up a three, no, off the iron. Rebound taken out by Charlo, out to Addie. Back into Charlo in the lane. Out to Addie. To Irwin on the right side, or left side. And we get a blocking foul underneath as Irwin tried to penetrate the lane, and the Jills got in the way. And that foul is on Emerson Clark. We have Emerson Clark and Allison Clark, and they're both listed as freshmen. I don't know if they're sisters or twins or what the deal is. Addison has it, drives in the lane, tries to put it up. No, gets knocked away, but she gets the ball back herself. And we have a travel call being made against Jana Bovey is into the lineup, and she's the one who traveled as she tried to put the shot up. Took one step too many. So the Lumberjills have it in the backcourt. As Allison feeds it over to Wiles, who puts up a shot. Rebound taken down by the Vikings, and quickly down the floor. Shot goes up and gets knocked around. Meredith finally gets the loose change. Gets it out to Addie. Over to Bovey. Bovey between the circles. To Addison on the left side. Addison feeds it off to Meredith. Meredith into the lane. Puts it up, around and out. And we have a whistle underneath. And we have a foul being called on Meredith. That's her first personal, second team foul on the Vikings. 11:45 to go in the first half. Rands brings it down the floor. Feeds it over to Meltz. Meltz gets it over to Emerson Clark, who puts up a three. No, it's a little bit short, and Meredith comes down with it. Gets it to Addie as she comes down the floor. Over to Addison on the left side. Addison out to Bovey. Bovey down underneath to Charlo. Charlo lays it up off the glass and off. If Charlo gets her own rebound, puts it up and no good. And Ladysmith comes down with it. Wiles brings it down through the center circle. Wiles passes it off to the right side. To Rands, puts up the shot. It's no good, and the loose change gets chased down by Ladysmith. Feeds it out to Wiles. Wiles to Emerson Clark. Now it's to Rands, who drives the lane, puts it up and in. 12-9, Vikings up by 3, 10:48 to go in the first half. Addie with it between the circles. Feeds it over to Addison, out high to Bovey. Bovey to Meredith. Meredith's shot comes up just a little bit short from three-point land, but Addie gets the rebound, gets it to Meredith. Now to Charlo. They're passing it around the perimeter. Addie with it. Down low to Addison, out to Bovey. Bovey to Meredith at the top of the key. Feeds it to Addie, who's cutting through at the baseline, and she can't find the handle, and it goes out of bounds. And again, we have some wholesale substitutions coming in for the Vikings.
Ladysmith is making Colfax run a little more tonight, and I can definitely see that the starters are lagging a little bit behind. Ladysmith is doing a good job keeping pressure on right now.
And that 2 weeks off might be showing up a little bit.
Yeah, they'll have to take care of the ball and pick their shots here.
All right, Ladysmith has it in the forecourt. Diekman with it, gets it out to the right side, and now it's out to Wiles between the circles. Wiles back over to the right side to Rands. Rands out high to Emerson Clark. Emerson feeds it over to Wiles on the left. Wiles drives the baseline, puts it up, no good. Rebound taken down by Emerson, no good. And we have a battle under the board and a jump ball being called. Possession arrow in favor of Ladysmith. Diekman to inbound the ball. Or check that. That's Silva to inbound the ball for Ladysmith. She feeds it into Wiles. It goes out high to Rand. Rands feeds it over to Emerson. Back to Wiles. Out high to Diekman. And the shot goes up by Wiles. It's no good. Meredith with the rebound. Quickly down the floor come the Vikings. Feeds it to Schleisner. Puts up the layup and it doesn't make it. And Ladysmith inbound, or tries to get it down the floor and throws it almost out of bounds. Got saved back into the Vikings. And Barstad puts up a clunker off, wide off the glass from three-point land. And now Ladysmith slowing things down a little bit. This is Wiles with it, or that was Emerson. Feeds it underneath to Silva. Silva puts the shot up, no good. Rebound taken down by Meredith. Meredith through the circle. Takes it down the lane. Tries to feed it off, but it got knocked away by Silva. And coming down the floor is Emerson Clark for Ladysmith. Feeds it over to Diekman, high, wide, and right. Back out to Silva at the top of the key. We have a whistle and a traveling call being called against Emerson Clark. And we have a timeout on the floor. And you're listening to Viking Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Oh no.
If your car has had an oh no experience, whether it's from a deer, another vehicle, or any other cause, be sure to see the hardworking people at Morgan's Auto Body in Colfax. Mike Morgan and his staff are ready to get your car right again. The staff at Morgan's Auto Body are ASE and iCar certified technicians, and they can get your car looking like new. That's Morgan's Auto Body in Colfax. Call them at 715-962-3559.
And we're back here at Colfax High School where the Vikings have a 12-9 lead with 8:16 to go. They inbound the ball. That's 8:16 in the first half. Schleisner brings it through the center circle, takes it around the right side, gets it out high to Harmon. Marissa Harmon puts up the three and makes it 15-9. Ladysmith brings it down the floor. Raymalee Smith with it. Feeds it over to Allison Clark. And she's coming over on the left side, high, wide, and left. Takes it back out to the top of the key to Silva on the right side. To Diekman down in the right corner. Back out high now to Eagle. Eagle gets it over to Allison Clark. Clark to Smith. Smith, and they get it over on the right side now to Silva. Silva feeds it out to Smith, circling around, tries to drive into the lane. She puts it up, it rolls off. Schleisner with the rebound. Schleisner brings it down the floor. She goes past the top of the key, down the lane, kicks it out to Harmon. Harmon puts the shot up, no good. Rebound taken down by Barstad. She went up, and they call a jump ball. As she went up, the defensive player for Ladysmith, and I think it was Diekman, got a hand on top of that ball and just kind of said, nope, you're not going up this time. Possession arrow went in favor of the Vikings. Inbound pass to Irwin. She puts up a shot and it's no good. And Ladysmith comes down with the board. Silva has it at the top of the key. Feeds it over to the left side, and we have a timeout being called by Ladysmith. So with a timeout on the floor, it's the Vikings 15, the Lumberjills 9, and you're listening to Viking Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
The Colfax Messenger has covered the happenings of Colfax and the surrounding area for over 120 years. No one cares for Colfax like the Messenger. Readers get the most current news, sports, and feature stories about the people and places of Colfax. Also, the Messenger is your one-stop source for all your printing needs. To subscribe to the Colfax Messenger or receive a free quote on your printing needs, call the Messenger at 715-265-4646 or visit them online at www.dewitmedia.com.
And Lumberjills to inbound the ball with 6:46 to go in the first half. And it's Smith with it, and she feeds it over onto the right side, and it gets fed down low to Diekman, who put it up and in. 15-11, Vikings up by 4. Schleissner with it between the circles, feeds it over to Irwin on the right. Sends it into the lane to Charlo, back out high to Barstead. Barstead's three-pointer's no good. Off the back of the iron, and rebound taken down by Smith. She brings it down across the timeline, and now comes over to the left side, feeds it down low to Allison Clark. Gets back out high to Brittany Wiles. She's looking for somewhere to go with it. Gets it over to Clark, or Smith, check that, on the right side. And now Wiles has it. Free throw line extended to the left. And the ball gets tapped away, and Barstead comes down with it for the Vikings. She drives down the lane, pulls up, puts up a shot, no good. Rebound taken down by Meredith. Irwin with a shot, no, and the Vikings have gone cold.
Yeah, I'd like to see them slow it down a little bit, and this pace isn't working for them right now.
So the Lumberjills bring it down across the floor, or across the court. It's Smith with it. Feeds it to Diekman, who drives into the lane, puts up the shot, and the shot does not go, but she does draw the harm. And it's Charlo with the foul. That's her first personal, third team foul on the Vikings. Diekman's first shot is up and in. Couple of substitutes come in for the Vikings and one for the Jills. Holly Rands into the lineup for the Lumberjills, replacing Smith. Diekman's second shot is up, no good. Rebound taken down by Meredith, gets it to Schleissner, who's going to bring it down the floor for the Vikings. She takes it across the timeline, feeds it down to the free throw line to Charlo. To Meredith, who drives the baseline, puts it up, and it goes in. Camry Meredith with her first two on the night. 17-12, Vikings on top. It's over on the left side to Wiles, kicks it out to the right side. Long shot is in. That was by Emily Eagle. That's her second three on the night. 7 points for Eagle, and it's a 2-point game. Vikings 17, Lumberjills 15 as the Vikings have it in the forecourt. Addie tries to feed it to Charlo, misses on the pass, and it's intercepted by Holly Rands for Ladysmith. To Diekman. Diekman takes it around the free throw line, over to the right side. She's still dribbling, gets it over to Clark. That's Allison Clark. Hitting it off to Holly Rands. Over to Diekman. Diekman puts up a three, and she hit it. And Ladysmith takes the lead. 18-17, the Lumberjills with a 1-point lead. Steinke feeds it down into the right corner to Charlo, out high to Meredith. Meredith to Schleissner, to Charlo. Turns as she drives down the lane, and the ball gets knocked away, and Ladysmith comes away with it. And they're looking for somewhere to go with it. Wiles has it. She feeds it over on the right side to Rands. Rands kicks it to Diekman, puts up a three. Off the back of the iron, no good. Addie with the rebound. Addie feeds it down to Steinke. Out to Schleissner. Schleissner trying to drive the lane, and she got called for a travel. Steinke goes out. Taylor Irwin comes in for the Vikings. Couple of substitutions for the Jills as well. To inbound the ball for the Jills is Emerson Clark. And she gets it to Smith. Smith takes it across the timeline. Hesitates, drives to the lane, kicks it out to Ramley Clark, or not, to Emerson Clark, and the ball goes out of bounds off a leg of the Vikings. Ladysmith to inbound it. Emerson Clark to inbound it. She kicks it out to Eagle, puts up a long shot, no good. Rebound taken down by Charlo. Addie with it down the floor. Back out to Charlo at the top of the key, puts up a three, no. Rebound taken down by Barstead. Barstead looking for somewhere to go, decides to go back up to the basket with it. No, Charlo with the shot. No, it doesn't go in, but she gets whistled, and she was fouled on the way up.
Good job by Charlo to miss the three, but make her way to the hoop to get the rebound.
Emerson Clark on that foul. It's her second personal, 15 foul. Charlo's first shot is up and good. Tying the game at 18. Fifth point for Rachel Charlo for tonight. Her second shot is nothing but net. 19-18, Vikings back on top. Ladysmith brings it down the floor. Smith with it, across the timeline. Looking for somewhere to go. Tries to drive to the lane, and she traveled. She didn't travel by much. She just put the brakes on, and that foot slid a little bit.
Yeah, she was looking to pass, and that foot just slid.
So Addie with it through the center circle to Meredith on the left side. Takes it down the right side of the lane now. Gets it over to Addie. Addie feeds it into Meredith. Meredith tries a hard pass across to Charlo, and she can't control it. Goes out of bounds, and Ladysmith will have the ball. 2:16 to go in the first half. And the Lumberjills bring it down the floor. This is Brittany Wiles with it. Over on the right side, she feeds it over to Smith. She's got it now out between the circles. Smith driving down the right side, gets it out to Diekman, puts up a three, and around and off. Rebound taken down by Charlo, but she got fouled in the process, and that foul is on Ramley Smith for the Lumberjills. Her first personal, sixth team foul. Vikings will be in the bonus from here on out, but Addie brings it down the floor for the Vikings. Barstead, over to Charlo at the top of the key, feeds it to Irwin. On the right side to Barstead out at the top of the key to Addie. Feeds it down low to Irwin. Back out to Charlo, puts up a three, no good. Barstead with the rebound. Barstead drives into the lane, lays it up. No, it bounced around up there a number of times, but we have a whistle and a foul underneath. And that foul is being called on Brittany Wiles. That's her first personal. Seventh team foul, so Rachel Charlo will be at the line, shooting a 1-and-1.
Good job by Rachel Charlo to box out and get the rebound and the foul.
Into the lineup comes Addison Olsen, replacing Maddie Barstead. Charlo's shot is up and good. And into the Ladysmith lineup is Holly Rands, and she's replacing Emma Diekman. Now Charlo has the ball for her second shot. It's on the way, and it's off the air, no good. Rebound taken down by Meredith. Cross-court pass out to Irwin. Irwin feeds it to Charlo. Back out to Irwin on the left side. To Charlo. Takes it out to the top of the key. To Meredith. From the top of the key, no good. Rebound out of bounds, and Ladysmith will get the ball. 1:10 to go in the first half. Rands brings it down the floor. Rands takes it between the circles. Now kicks it out wide to Silva, who puts up a three, and she hit it. Ladysmith has a 21-20 lead. 50 seconds to go in the first half. Charlo has it on the left side, gets it out to Addison at the top of the key, to Schleisner in the lane. Gets it back out to Addison. Feeds it to Irwin. Irwin puts up a three. Off the iron, no good. Chases her own rebound and gets it out to Schleissner. Schleissner at the top of the key. 30 seconds to go. Schleissner tries to put one up. Ball gets slapped back in her face, but Meredith picks up the ball and puts it up and in. Ladysmith brings it down. 20 seconds to go in the first half. Eagle with it. 10 seconds to go in the first half. Over to Rands. Rands drives to the lane, kicks it out. Shot goes up. It's no good. 9/10 of a second remaining. The shot was by Smith. Long pass to Schleissner, and she doesn't get the shot off in time. And so that's the end of the first half. Dan, we got a heck of a ball game going on here.
Two good teams going at it tonight.
Two one-loss teams. My goodness, we're getting everything we bargained for. And so the score at halftime, Vikings 22 and the Ladysmith Lumberjills 21. And you're listening to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
What makes Hometown Pharmacy different than the big chains? People. When you walk into Hometown Pharmacy, you'll see friends and neighbors on both sides of the counter.
We come to Hometown Pharmacy because they are also very knowledgeable and helpful.
We may not be on every corner, but chances are we're in your hometown, or we'll be there shortly. And we care about you. Hometown Pharmacy, our family caring for your family.
Stop by Colfax Hometown Pharmacy in downtown Colfax.
Time now for Viking Profile, where we take a closer look at one of the Colfax Viking players. And now, Viking Profile.
Today on Viking Profile, we're going to get to know Seville Wilson, a senior at Colfax High School. We'll be chatting with Seville right after this brief timeout.
We are the boy band. Your tween made you see. We are the boy band. It's painful concert number 3. We are the boy band. We're 5 and 19. We are the boy band. Always singing on key.
You love your kids enough to take them to see their favorite band. Love them enough to make sure they're buckled up in the back seat. Show them you love them. Keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
We're talking right now with Seville Wilson on Viking Profile. And Seville, we know you play basketball, but are you involved in any other activities here at school?
No, I am not. Basketball is like the only sport I do. I used to be in volleyball, but I stuck with basketball.
So when did you start playing basketball, and what kind of experience have you had with that?
I probably started in like 5th grade, and it was really fun.
What's the most important thing that you've learned from playing basketball?
I learned teamwork is a big part of it, and like just being involved with your team.
So when you're not playing basketball or you're not here at school, what are some other things that you're interested that keep you occupied?
I hang out with friends, sit at home, study.
Some rapid fire questions for you. Pie, ice cream, cake, or cookies?
Probably cookies.
Any particular kind?
Chocolate chip.
All right, now a couple other people have said that, and I'm curious. Do you prefer the soft or the hard chocolate chip cookies?
Definitely the soft.
Okay, and homemade or store-bought?
It depends if it's homemade and like good, but store-bought can be good too.
Okay, Ford, Chevy, or some other brand?
Other brand.
Which one in particular? Just if it's got 4 wheels and goes around, right?
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
All right, do you have a favorite NBA or WNBA team?
Warriors. Cleveland's pretty good too.
Okay, well, right now we're talking with Seville Wilson on Viking Profile. And Seville, what are your plans for after high school?
Well, I'm going into the military, so I'm going to be serving the country.
Which branch?
Navy.
Do you know what your job description will be in the Navy yet?
No, not yet. I got to take the ASVAB test to find out. So,
Okay, how about a shout out to your family?
shout out to my mom and my siblings. Love you.
So when people come to Viking games, what position are you playing, and how's that going for you?
I am in the post, the 4 and 5. So, yeah, it's going good.
So you're going to be in the land of the Giants.
Yep.
We want to thank Seville Wilson for joining us today on Viking Profile. Coming up next is more Viking Halftime.
You've been listening to Viking Profile. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Hey, it's me, your cell phone. We need to talk about something serious. I know you love me, I know you like using me wherever you are, but I feel like this isn't working out when you're driving. I know you may think that it's possible to focus both on me and the road, but I just don't feel the same way. I think we should spend time away from each other when you're driving. It's for the best.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org, a message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Time for the Colfax High School Report with an update on what's happening at Colfax High School.
Things have been pretty quiet at Colfax High School as the students have been on holiday vacation for nearly the past 2 weeks. However, the week before vacation, the boys and girls varsity basketball teams had a full schedule of games. On Monday, December 16th, the girls traveled to Hayward and defeated the Hurricanes 35-20. On Tuesday, the 17th, the Viking boys were defeated by the Thorpe Cardinals 54-43. Then on Thursday, December 19th, the Viking girls defeated the Mondovi Buffaloes 65-33. The boys wrapped up the week by defeating Plum City Elmwood Wolves 59-52. So heading into the holiday vacation, the Viking girls had posted a 7-win and 1-loss record, 4-0 in the Dun St. Croix Conference, and the boys had posted a 3-2 overall record and 2-0 in the Dun St. Croix Conference. This week, the middle school girls began practice. Their games begin on January 13th when they travel to Durand Assumption. Coming up next week, the Viking girls have games at Clear Lake on Monday and Durand on Thursday. We'll have both varsity games right here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, with Viking pregame beginning at 7 o'clock and live play-by-play beginning at 7:10 p.m. The Viking boys will host Glenwood City on Tuesday and travel to Mondovi on Friday. The FFA conference will be held on Friday and Saturday of next week, and the Viking dance team will compete in their conference meet on Saturday, January 11th at Eau Claire North. And that's what's been happening at Colfax High School. This has been Rick Olson reporting.
You've been listening to the Colfax High School Report with an update on what's happening at Colfax High School. The second half of Colfax Viking basketball is coming up.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
And we're back here at Colfax High School, where the Vikings have a narrow and precarious 1-point lead at halftime, 22-21 over the Ladysmith Lumberjills. Dan, what do those numbers look like?
Yeah, here's the leading scorer for Colfax tonight. Right now it's number 44, Rachel Charlo. She has 7 points. Cameron Meredith has 4 points. Miss Harmon has 3. Taylor Irwin has 3. Josie Steinke has 3. And Maddie Barstead has 2. For the Lumberjills, their leading scorer right now is number 11, Emily Eagle, with 7. Emily Diekman has 6. Silva has 3. Rayleigh Smith has 3, and Holly Rance has 2.
Okay, and that kind of tells the whole story right there. Vikings and the Lumberjills. Vikings got out to a nice little, about a 7-point lead or thereabout, something like that early in the first half. But Ladysmith did not give up, and they've been really scrapping on the floor. And everywhere the Vikings want to pass the ball, there seems to be a Lumberjill kind of in the way.
Yeah, Ladysmith has settled in a little bit, really working on, they penetrate the lane and pass out for the three, and they've hit some threes tonight.
Well, I'll tell you what, we'll be back with half number 2 right after this brief timeout. You're listening to Viking Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Are your pooch's proportions putting on pounds? Or is your kitty's constitution constantly complaining? Well, stop by and see the friendly folks at the Colfax Animal Hospital. Dr. Bruce Buckley and his staff will be happy to help you get your family friend back on the road to healthy living. That's the Colfax Animal Hospital. Call them at 715-962-3380.
And we're back here at Colfax High School. Both teams over at the benches still. We're just about ready to start the second half. And I'm looking to see who the starters are in the second half for the Vikings. They're back to their usual, well, not quite. Meredith is in there to start the second half. Irwin is still in there, however, for the Vikings. And the Lumberjills bring the ball in, and Smith has it. She feeds it out to Wiles. And then over on the left side to Diekman. Back over to Eagle on the right side. She gets it to Allison Clark, then back out to Eagle on the right. Eagle high, wide, and right with it. She gets it to Smith down in the right corner, who dribbles it out between the circles now. Being guarded closely by Schleissner. She feeds it over to Wiles, who takes it between the circles. And now it's Smith with it. She drives to the free throw line. Kicks it over to the right side to Eagle. Back out to Smith, and she puts a shot up from the lane, and it doesn't get there, and the Vikings have it as they come down the floor. Schleissner stops at the top of the key. Feeds it over to Steinke. Steinke on the right side to Meredith. Back out to Steinke. Out to Irwin between the circles. To Schleissner. Tries to penetrate the lane. Gets turned around, goes back out, and Irwin has it. Tries to feed it down underneath to Meredith, and the ball gets intercepted by the Lumberjills. Smith with it, and she feeds it over to Allison Clark. Allison on the right side to Eagle. Down to Allison in the right corner. And she tries to get it underneath, and the ball gets intercepted by Meredith. Meredith quickly down the floor. Tries to get it over to Irwin and gets tapped out of bounds by Eagle. And the Vikings will maintain possession.
Both teams starting out a little bit slower and try to settle it down here in the second half.
Meredith with it, inbounds it to Schleissner. Schleissner out high to Irwin, tries to feed it into the lane to Meredith, and we have a whistle and a foul. And the foul is being called on Allison Clark. That's her second personal, first team foul against the Lumberjills. Inbound pass to Charlo, and she gets tied up, and we have a jump ball being called. Possession arrow in favor of the Vikings, so they'll maintain possession. But they didn't want a jump ball in that situation.
Yeah.
Irwin to inbound it. Out high to Schleissner. Schleissner stops at the top of the key, feeds it over to Irwin. On the left side, out to Charlo between the circles. To Steinke from three, no. Rebound, battled for underneath, and finally comes away with it as Ladysmith. And this is Smith with it. She puts it up, no good. Rebound, chased down by Schleissner, comes quickly across the timeline. Into the lane, she puts on the brakes, gets it out to Meredith, puts up a three. Off the back of the iron, no good. Charlo with the rebound, puts it up off the glass, no good. Rebound taken down by Ladysmith. Smith with it through the center circle. She feeds it over to Eagle. to Diekman on the right side. Free throw line extended right. Feeds it down to Clark. Ball gets knocked away, and it's off the Lumberjills, and the Vikings will get it.
Good defensive pressure by Colfax to get the turnover.
Irwin inbounds it to Schleissner. She's got it between the circles. She drives into the lane, goes up for a layup. We have a blocking foul being called. And I do believe the foul is going to be on Brittany Wiles. That's her second personal, second team foul.
Morgan's not afraid to take it down the lane.
No. Her first shot is off the front of the iron, no good. I think the Vikings need to get some of that SOS out and start scrubbing the rust off their shots tonight. Second shot is up and in. Hey, a little polish never hurt.
That's right.
Vikings up by 2, 23-21. 15:03 to go in the ball game. Ladysmith has it on the right side. They feed it down into the lane to Wiles. Tries to put up a layup, and it's no good. Rebound brought down by Schleissner. Turns around, gets it out to Charlo. Charlo back out to Schleissner. Schleissner from 3, puts it in the hole. I guess Morgan Schleissner didn't like what I said about her free throw.
That's it.
Ladysmith coming down the floor real quickly. Gets it to Eagle. Eagle puts up a 3. It's no good. Rebound chased down, and it goes out of bounds. Viking ball. Addison into the lineup for Steinke. 26-21, Vikings on top. Schleissner brings the ball down the floor. Takes it down to the free throw line, kicks it out to Addison. Addison circles around, tries to penetrate the lane. They called her for turning the ball over. She does get her hand a little bit far behind on that ball and brings it around as she's trying to make that big sweeping curve. And she has the turnover. And Ladysmith has it. They get it over to Smith, who brings it down, kicks it out from the lane to Diekman, puts up a 3, no good. Rebound taken down by Irwin. Irwin quickly down the floor, waits for traffic, gets it to Charlo. Out to Schleissner, puts up a 3, no good. Rebound taken down by Diekman. Diekman gets it over to Clark. Clark brings it down the floor for Ladysmith. To Eagle, out to Diekman from 3 land, no good. Rebound, this time taken down by Wiles. Wiles for Ladysmith, and she gets tied up underneath, and we're going to get a whistle and
jump ball.
We have a series of substitutions going on. And the possession arrow was in favor of Ladysmith, so they have the ball. Diekman has it, high, wide, and left. Drives down to the lane, kicks it out to Smith. Smith at the top of the key, feeds it over to Rands. Rands tries to drive into the lane. We have a whistle. And a foul being called on Meredith. That's her second personal. First team foul on the Vikings. Ball gets inbound to Wiles. She gets it to Diekman, tries to feed the lane and tries to get it to Emerson Clark, and she can't find the handle. It went out of bounds, and the Vikings have it. Addie brings it down the floor for the Vikings. She takes it over to the right side. Tries to feed it into the lane to Charlo. Charlo tries to put up the shot, and I think someone was standing on her foot. She couldn't quite get up in the air and lost control of the ball, and Ladysmith has it as they come across the timeline. This is Smith with it. Smith is out high, wide, and left. Feeds it over to Wiles to the top of the key, now on to the left side. And now back over to Wiles on the right. Over to the left to Rands, to Emerson, and her shot, it's Emerson Clark, and the shot is short and out of bounds, and the Vikings will have it. 12:34 to go in the game. Vikings on top, 26-21. Addie with it. She brings it across the timeline. Over to Irwin. Irwin drives into the lane. She puts up the shot and it goes in. Taylor Irwin with the shot. That's her 5th point on the night. 28-21. Vikings up by 7. That equals their biggest lead of the game. Rands with it to Diekman. Diekman takes it down the left side, and Irwin gets scrappy, gets it away. Here comes Addison down the floor. She's on a solo run. She puts up the shot, no good. Rebound followed by Charlo, and she put it in. And we have a timeout being called by the Ladysmith Lumberjills. Timeout on the play. Score, Vikings 30, Lumberjills 21. You're listening to Viking Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Northern Light Webcasting Network is proud to present Colfax Viking Basketball for the 2019-2020 season. Join us tomorrow night as the Viking boys take on the Alita Storm Cardinals. Viking pregame begins at 7 o'clock and live play-by-play begins at 7:10 right here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
And we're back here at Colfax High School where the Vikings have opened up a 9-point lead on the Ladysmith Lumberjills. In fact, they have not allowed Ladysmith to score in the second half, and we are just under 12 minutes left in this game. The Lumberjills have the ball. They bring it down the floor to Silva, gets it across the timeline to Smith. Smith takes it between the circles. Over to Silva on the right side. Silva stops at the top of the key, gets it out to Smith. Smith tries the right side. Being guarded closely there by Irwin. Tries to drive into the lane, puts up the shot, and it goes in. Those are the first 2 points that Ladysmith has scored. And Addie brings it down the floor for the Vikings. Gets it over to Meredith. Meredith trying to drive the lane, turns around, jumps it up, no good. Rebound taken down by Emerson Clark, and she feeds it off to Smith as they come across the timeline. Smith gives it over to Silva from three-point land, and Silva hit another three. 30-26 as Ladysmith is going to try to come storming back. Addie comes across the timeline, stops at the free throw line, turns around, kicks it out to Addison from three. She put it up and in. Addison Olsen with the three-pointer, 33-26. Vikings on top. Rands with it, feeds it down low to Silva on the left side. Silva gets it out to Emerson Clark, over to Smith, back to Silva at the top of the key. On the left side over to Emerson. She drives into the lane, and she took a step too many that time as she tried to get the pass off. I think she was thinking about putting the shot up and then changed her mind halfway through the step, and it cost her an extra step and a turnover.
Yeah, she almost was surprised that she was open in the middle.
Yeah, right. So the Vikings will inbound the ball. Schleissner brings it down the floor for the Vikings. Barstead back into the Viking lineup as well. Bovey with it, gets it out to Meredith, puts up a shot, no good. Rebound being taken down by Ladysmith. That's Silva with it quickly down the floor. She feeds it over to Clark. That's Emerson Clark. Getting it off to Eagle, to Rands on the right side. Back out to Silva at the top of the key. Now it's over on the left side to Meltz. Over to Silva on the right, and she puts another three in the hole. That's 9 points for Silva, and they're all on threes. Quickly down the floor come the Vikings. Addison with it. Over to Barstead. To Bovey on the left. To Schleissner between the circles. Schleissner loses her footing, and we have a jump ball being called. Possession arrow in favor of the Vikings. As Barstead, or as Schleissner was trying to turn the corner, she kind of lost her footing and went down, and that's when Ladysmith got their hands on it, and it all got tied up. So the Vikings have it between the circles with Schleissner. Over to Barstead, tries to feed it into the lane to Meredith, puts it up and in. Camry Meredith, they've kept pretty good controls on Meredith tonight. She's only got 6 points, but some of them have been pretty important points.
Yeah, her game is on the inside, and she should be able to get some points here.
Long three-pointer, that's a two-pointer. That time from Brittany Wiles. So it's 35-31, Vikings up by 4. 8:53 to go in the ball game. Schleissner with it on the right side. Gets it out to the top of the key to Barstead. Out to Addison at the top of the key. To Meredith at the free throw line. Puts it up and it's in. Camry Meredith finding the range. 37-31, Vikings on top. 8 points for Meredith so far on the night. Wiles with it at the top of the key. Feeds it over to Smith. Tries to drive the lane. Kicks it out to Meltz. Meltz tries to get the pass over to Eagle and it goes out of bounds. And the Vikings will have it. Meredith inbounds it to Schleissner. Brings it across the timeline. Schleissner on the left side, feeds it into the lane to Meredith. Shot is no good. We have a whistle and a foul on the rebound, and I believe the foul is going to be on Camry Meredith. She kind of crawled over the top of the girl to try and get that rebound. That's the third foul on Meredith, second team foul on the Vikings. Charlo into the lineup for Addison Olsen. Inbound pass to Meltz, quickly to Smith. Back out to Meltz. Meltz feeds it over to Allison Clark. To Smith. On the left side. Back out to Allison Clark. To Meltz. And now it's Smith with it between the circles. Tries to drive into the lane. And we have it tied up. And they're going to call Schleissner with a foul. I think all she grabbed was the ball as it went by, and the official couldn't see it. But they're going to get Schleissner with her second personal, third team foul on the Vikings. And the Vikings, or in the Lumberjills, inbounding it. Ball goes to Smith, but it goes between her legs and is picked up by Irwin for the Vikings. Schleissner with it now at the free throw line. Kicks it out to Irwin. Puts up a three-pointer and it's good. Taylor Irwin with a three-pointer and it's 40-31. Vikings on top. Smith takes it across the timeline, being guarded closely by Schleissner. Smith turns it around, kicks it out to Eagle. Eagle puts up the three. It's off the iron, no good. Rebound taken down by Wiles, and we have a jump ball being called, and the possession arrows in favor of the Vikings. .709 left in this game. Vikings back up by 9. And we have a whistle. Well, evidently it was supposed to be Ladysmith ball. That's what the whistle was for. Now they get it inbounds. And it's Wiles with a turnaround jumper, puts it up off the glass and in. 40-33. Ladysmith with it. Our Vikings have the ball and the lead. Schleissner with it between the circles. Feeds it to Meredith. Turns around at the free throw line. Gets it out to Charlo. Charlo out to Schleissner. Schleissner looking for somewhere to go. Gets it to Irwin at the top of the key. Feeds it out to Charlo. Charlo out to Irwin. Feeds it to Barstead. Drives the lane. She puts it up and it goes in. Maddie Barstead with the shot. That's 4 points for Barstead on the night. 42-33. Vikings on top by 9. Wiles with it between the circles for Ladysmith. She feeds it over to the left side to Eagle. Back out high to Diekman. Diekman drives into the lane. Kicks it out to Eagle. Eagle with a three-pointer on the way, a little bit long. Rebound being fought for, and Taylor Irwin picked up the ball, but her foot was on the line. So Ladysmith will have the ball under their own basket. Addie is into the lineup for Schleissner. And Silva comes into the lineup for Eagle. for Ladysmith. Inbound pass comes out to Wiles. Out high, wide and right. Out to the top of the key to Silva. Silva tries the left side, nothing there. They kick it out to Diekman, who puts up a shot, no good. Rebound taken down by Barstead. She takes it solo all the way down the floor, and she gets fouled as she goes up for the layup. Maddie Barstead's gonna go to the line for 2. And that foul is on Raymalee Smith. That's her second personal, third team foul. Barstead's first shot is on the way, and it's good. 43-33, Vikings on top. And the next shot is on the way, and it rattles home. 44-33. 5:36 to go in the game. Wiles with it. She feeds it over to Smith on the left side. She dribbles it back over to the right side and has a pass that was intended for Diekman, tipped out of bounds by Barstead. So the Jills have it. Feeds into Silva. She's at the free throw line, extended right. Over to Rands on the left side. Rands kicks it out to the right side to Silva, puts up a 3, no good. Rebound being fought for, picked up by Ladysmith, and she couldn't quite get control of it. That was Rands. She lost it out of bounds, and the Vikings have it. Addie brings it down the floor for the Vikings. About 5 minutes to go in this game. They pass it down the lane to Charlo, puts a shot up, and it's good, and we're going to have a foul being called. I believe it's on Silva. Yes, the foul is on Silva. It's her first personal, fourth team foul, and the Vikings now have a 46-33 lead with Charlo with the extra shot, and she got the extra one as well. 47-33, Vikings up by 14, biggest lead of the night. Down the floor comes Wiles, and we have a whistle and a timeout being called by Ladysmith. So with a timeout on the floor, the score, Vikings 47, Lumberjills 33. You're listening to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
In addition to being your hometown newspaper, the Colfax Messenger is also your one-stop shop for all your printing needs. The Messenger provides full in-house design and full-color printing services for copies, business cards, letterheads, envelopes, pamphlets, brochures, books. They can even do posters up to 13 by 30 inches for your events or benefits. Call the Colfax Messenger at 715-265-4646 or visit dewitmedia.com.
And we're back here at Colfax High School as they're doing the countdown cheer. Vikings have opened up a 14-point lead.
Yeah, they settled down here in the second half, moved the ball inside, got their jump shots, got free throws, and got the lead.
So the Lumberjills have it. And this is Diekman with it at the free throw line, kicks it out to Silva on the left side. Silva back to Diekman, drives the baseline, feeds it back out, and it gets out to Silva. Silva to Rands. Rands with a cross-court pass, and the shot goes up and off the rim. That shot was by Allison Clark, and the Vikings bring it down the floor and lose control. Meredith trying to feed Irwin, and she fed her just a little too far. Eagle into the lineup for Rands. For Ladysmith. Inbound pass to Allison Clark. And now Wiles brings it down the floor. Clark with it. She feeds it over to Wiles, to Eagle. Eagle over to Wiles at the free throw line. Kicks it back out to Silva, puts up a three, off the iron, no good. Rebound taken down by Meredith. Meredith brings it down the floor, gets it to Addie between the circles. Addie tries to feed it to Charlo and fed it right to Charlo's feet, and it skidded out of bounds. And Ladysmith will have the ball, and we have some substitutions coming in. Barstad with it, or coming out. Steinke going in. Addie coming out. And Schleissner coming in for the Vikings. And Wiles takes it down the floor for Ladysmith. Feeds it over to Smith on the right. Gets it out to Diekman between the circles. Then to Clark. Kicks it out for a shot, no good. Rebound taken down by the Vikings. Schleissner with it. Stops at the free throw line. Feeds it out to Charlo. Charlo over to Steinke. Steinke puts up a three, no good. Rebound taken down by the Ladysmith Lumberjills. Smith with it. Free throw line extended right. Feeds it over to Eagle. Now out to Allison Clark. To Wiles. Wiles trying to get it to Eagle, but Eagle went one way and the ball went the other and goes out of bounds, so the Vikings get it. 47-33, Vikings on top, 2:50 remaining. Schleissner with it across the timeline. She feeds it over to Charlo. Charlo gets it to Steinke. Steinke out high to Meredith. Feeds it in the lane to Charlo. Ball gets tipped and out of bounds, and that's going to be off of Ladysmith. Vikings will have the ball.
Yeah, I'd like to see Colfax settle it down a little bit, run a little clock, and take care of the ball here in the last 2:35.
Irwin to inbound it for the Vikings. Gets it over to Steinke on the left side. Feeds it over to Meredith on the right. To Schleissner. Schleissner takes it out to the top of the key. Feeds it to Steinke. Steinke with a three. It's off the front of the iron. No good. Rebound chased down by Irwin. Gets it to Schleissner. Schleissner gets stopped and feeds it out to Irwin. Tries to feed it into Steinke in the lane. She can't find the handle of it, and Ladysmith comes up with the ball. Down the floor comes Diekman. Diekman over to Eagle. Eagle turns around, drives into the lane. Kicks it out. Long shot by Smith is up. No good. Check that. That was Wiles with the long shot. And the Vikings come down with the ball. Schleissner with it across the timeline. To Steinke. To Irwin. Out to Meredith. And this is Schleissner. Now to Irwin. To Steinke. They're running some clock now. You're getting what you asked for there, Dan. Meredith with it. She's out near that center circle. And we have a whistle and a foul being called on Brittany Wiles. Ladysmith still has a couple fouls to give. At least one more. Eagle comes out and Rands comes in. Long pass on the inbound pass, and it goes out of bounds. Tried to get it to Meredith, but threw it over her head a little bit too far, and that's actually pretty good defense on the part of Ladysmith to deny the inbound pass. So Ladysmith has it. This is Smith with it, bringing it down the floor. She drives down the right side, and she got her pocket picked by Meredith. Meredith brings it down for the Vikings. Feeds it out to Irwin. To Schleissner. To Steinke, back to Schleissner. Over to Charlo. And we have a foul. Irwin had the ball, and the foul was being called on Emerson Clark.
Yeah, a little hip check there.
Steinke out for the Vikings. Addison Olsen in for the Vikings. And let's see, we have Allison Clark coming in for Diekman. Inbound pass to Meredith. Back to Irwin. Irwin looking for somewhere to go. We have a whistle and a foul, and the foul's being called on Smith. And I think we're getting to that point of the game where we're going to see a lot of fouls.
Yeah, a lot of fouls. It's a little too late, though, for Ladysmith.
So Irwin at the line for the 1-and-1. First shot is off the back of the iron, no good. Ladysmith gets the rebound. Quickly down the floor comes Rands for the Lumberjills. Feeds it out to Smith, puts up a three, no good. Rebound taken down by Addison, and she's tied up.
Good job by Addison Olsen to get that rebound and
tuck it in and draw the foul.
Yep.
So Addison's going to the line for the 1-and-1. 49 seconds to go. Vikings up 47-33. Addison's shot is on the way, and it's good. That very distinctive two-handed push shot that Addison Olsen uses. 48-33. Second shot is off the back of the iron, no good. That's what I get for saying something like that. Wiles with it for the Lumberjills to Emerson and feeds it out to Rands, who puts up a three. She hit it, and a timeout being called by the Lumberjills. 48-36 with just about 38 seconds remaining. And you're listening to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
In addition to being your hometown newspaper, the Colfax Messenger is also your one-stop shop for all your printing needs. The Messenger provides full in-house design and full-color printing services for copies, business cards, letterheads, envelopes, pamphlets, brochures, books. They can even do posters up to 13 by 30 inches for your events or benefits. Call the Colfax Messenger at 715-265-4646 or visit dewitmedia.com.
If you have a high-deductible health plan, opening a health savings account at Dairy State Bank will allow you to save tax-free dollars to pay for a long list of health-related services allowed by the IRS. Dairy State Bank HSAs are serviced locally and work like a regular checking account. You can use a debit card or check to pay for expenses and access your account through online or mobile banking. Visit DairyStateBank.com to learn more about HSAs and online or mobile banking. Dairy State Bank, banking on relationships. Member FDIC.
Vikings have the ball. About 15 seconds remaining, and now we have a whistle and a foul. Charlo had the ball, and she got fouled at the last second there. We have exactly 15 seconds remaining. Smith with the foul for the Vikings. That's her fourth personal, 9th team foul on the Lumberjills. Charlo's shot is up and no good. Rebound with 10 seconds remaining. Quickly down the floor come the Lumberjills. Rands drives the baseline. She lays it up and in. Vikings inbound the ball. We have a whistle and a foul. 1 second remaining. And Schleisner's going to go to the line. 48-38 is the score right now. Schleisner at the line, shooting a 1-on-1. Her shot is up. It's good. 49-38. And Schleisner's second shot is up, and it's also good. 50-38. Vikings up, and there's the buzzer, and that's the way it's going to finish. Vikings 50, Ladysmith Lumberjills 38. They had to scrap for it, Dan, but they finally got there.
Yeah, it was started out hot, got a little sloppy in the second part of the first half, and Colfax started to settle in and pull away.
And we're going to come back with some post-game, Viking post-game right after this brief timeout. And you've been listening to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Are your pooch's proportions putting on pounds? Or is your kitty's constitution constantly complaining? Well, stop by and see the friendly folks at the Colfax Animal Hospital. Dr. Bruce Buckley and his staff will be happy to help you get your family friend back on the road to healthy living. That's the Colfax Animal Hospital. Call them at 715-962-3380.
You've been listening to Colfax Viking Basketball, live on the Northern Light Webcasting Network. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network in conjunction with Colfax High School. Stay tuned, coming up next is Viking Postgame with a look back at today's game.
Why was the basketball court all wet? Because the players kept dribbling on it.
The dad joke. Corny, groan-worthy, but also one of the simplest ways to share a moment with your kids.
What did the buffalo say when he dropped his son off at school? Bye, son.
So take a moment to make your kid laugh, because dad jokes rule. Make your kid laugh today. Go to fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
I can't believe you found them.
He seems sorry.
We very clearly told him not to look up there.
I'm honestly impressed that he was able to do it.
Right? What, did he balance on that big chair?
Yeah, I mean, I guess he'll just know what his gifts are this year.
I really thought we had hidden them well.
If they can find their presents, they can find a gun.
911, what is your emergency?
Every day, 8 kids and teens are unintentionally killed or injured by loaded and unlocked guns. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and End Family Fire.
Time now for Viking Postgame, with a wrap-up of today's Colfax Viking girls game. And now, Viking Postgame.
And we're back here at Colfax High School waiting for Coach Doucette to come up and talk with us, which he's pretty good at getting here fairly quickly, so he should be here fairly soon. But Dan, based on that first half, I thought we were going to have a nail-biter, but then the Vikings pulled away in that second half, outscoring Ladysmith 28-17 to actually take command in this game. Your thoughts?
Yeah, so what I noticed was in the second half, Colfax went away from the three-pointers, kind of moved it inside, got shots off the block, got shots in the paint, and that was the key difference.
And here comes Coach Doucette climbing up over the rail, taking the shortcut to get here. And so we're going to have him get the headphones on, sit down here and join us. And, well, Coach, congratulations. We talked about it in the pregame a little bit. A little rust had to get knocked off. And by the second half, you guys took control.
Yeah, I thought so. It was about like I figured. They can shoot the ball. They made a bunch of threes early, and, Brad's got them playing, super basketball. So I thought, we were resilient, showed some persistence, and I thought defensively, we were pretty good.
And Ladysmith played tough defense against your girls. Didn't let them have any uncontested shots or anything like that. And
no. And then again, I thought Rachel and Camry and all our kids, we just found enough offense. We made some, just enough plays to take control there, Rick. And I was real impressed with that stretch from, maybe the 13-minute mark on there. I thought we were really good. Seemed like we'd score and get a stop, and then, pretty soon we're up 14 or 16 and feeling good about it.
You went on a bit of a run there. It was quite a while in the second half before they even put any points on the board. You ended up outscoring them. I think it was 28-17 in the second half.
Yeah.
That was kind of more what early in the game, I was kind of thinking that might be the case, and then all of a sudden they came roaring back.
Yeah, we got off to a good start, but boy, they, we just, they were physical and took away some things again we like to do, but again, I thought we adjusted well, showed some resilience like we talked about, and got some good play. I thought everybody off our bench helped in some way. I know Marissa Harmon made a big three, and Addison Olsen made a big three, and I don't think Addie Olsen turned it over. She's been playing real well, so it wasn't our best game by for sure, but I like most of the things we did.
And then I have to give it to Morgan Schleisner. She had two at the free throw line. First one went up and clanked off the iron.
Yeah.
And I said, I think maybe we need to get out the SOS and polish the rust off a little bit.
Yeah.
Boom, she nails the next one and immediately comes down and cans a three right after that.
Well, Morgan's one of the toughest kids we got. She's just does a great job on the other team's point guard and did that tonight. And, we love her to death. She's just a great kid, and she's always there for you. She's all in. No matter what it is, and a great teammate. So, we need her very badly. So
now you're 8-1, and it's off to Clear Lake and take on the Clear Lake Warriors.
Yeah.
What do you know about them?
Well, they're rated number 2 in the state in Division 5. They coming off a state championship in volleyball, and they're tremendously athletic. There probably isn't a peer in the whole area, to match up to their athleticism. So they like the zone. We'll have to make some shots, and should be a great game. But that's why we're playing that tough schedule to get us a little bit tougher and work on that good qualities like we talked about. We'll have to play well, and we'll have to be resilient, and I can't wait to play on Monday.
That sounds like it could be a really fun time on Monday. Well, enjoy this one and then start getting ready for Monday.
Thanks, Rick.
Thank you, Coach. And we'll be back with more Viking postgame right after this timeout.
Open calendar. What's my schedule looking like?
Next Thursday, you will be caught in an emergency flash flood between Park and First Street.
What? No, that doesn't work. I'm busy then. Decline. Decline.
Floods don't exactly work around your schedule. Disasters don't plan ahead. But you can. It starts with talking to your loved ones about making an emergency plan. So don't wait, communicate. Visit readywisconsin.wi.gov. Brought to you by Ready Wisconsin, FEMA, and the Ad Council.
And we're back here at Colfax High School, where the varsity just completed the trifecta for the Colfax girls. They defeated the Ladysmith Lumberjills by a score of 50-38. The junior varsity won by a score of 55-27 over Ladysmith. And Ladysmith didn't have a C team, so Fall Creek sent their C team over here to take on the Viking C team, and Vikings won that game by a score of 31-29. That had to have been a nail biter.
Yeah.
But that's 3 tonight for the Viking girls. That's a nice night. And what do your numbers tell you about this varsity game, Dan?
Yeah, here's the leading scorers for Colfax tonight. Rachel Charlotte, number 44, she had 12 points. Cameron Meredith and Taylor Irwin ended up with 8 points. Morgan Schleissner had 6. Addison Olsen had 4. And Marissa Harmon had 3 for the Ladysmith. Their leading scorer tonight was number 23, Silva, with 9 points. And then they had Holly Ryans.
Yeah, I think that's Camia Silva.
Camia Silva. And then Emily Eagle and Holly Ryans had 7. Emily Diekman had 6. Rayleigh Smith had 5. And Brittany Wiles had 4.
Okay, and that comes out to a 50-38 score in favor of the Colfax Vikings. 8-1 on the season, and they're, according to Coach Doucette, the girls are going to have their hands full on Monday night. But you know what the best part is, Dan? We're going to be there and get to bring it all to everybody, and so we get to watch some really good basketball on Monday night as well.
Yeah, that is one town, Clear Lake, that I've always, for some reason, wanted to go to. And this gives me a reason to go now.
There you go. And we get to go see some good basketball at the same time. So I will see you Monday night, as well as everybody listening in. And
tomorrow night?
Oh, yeah, don't forget. Yeah, oh, my goodness. I see, I'm thinking girls basketball. And, yeah, we've got a game tomorrow night when the boys take on the Oliva Strum Cardinals right here. In fact, I should remind people that Colfax Viking basketball brought by Dairy State Bank, where they're banking on relationships. The Colfax Animal Hospital, trust your pets to Dr. Buckley and his staff. Morgan's Auto Body, where after an oh no moment, they can make your car right again. The Colfax Messenger, for over 100 years, keeping you informed about what's happening in the Colfax area. Colfax Hometown Pharmacy, their family caring for your family, and Kyle's Market, where customer service is supersized. So be sure to thank these sponsors of Colfax Viking basketball and the Northern Light Webcasting Network. This reminder that the Viking girls' next game will be Monday, January 6th, when the Vikings travel to Clear Lake to take on the Clear Lake Warriors. JV begins at 5:45, and the varsity is at 7:15. Of course, we're going to have all the action for you right here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network. And the Viking boys basketball team is hosting Oliva Strum Cardinals tomorrow evening. JV begins at 5:45, varsity at 7:15. And again, we will have all the action of that one for you right here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network. And if you missed any part of tonight's game, or you know someone who would like to hear it, well, tonight's game will be rebroadcast right here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network on Saturday evening, beginning at 6 p.m. We've got a game tomorrow night. We normally do the rebroadcast on the next night, but we have a live game tomorrow night, so we'll do it on Saturday. So for Dan Petschow, this is Rick Olson. Have a great evening, everyone. We will see you tomorrow night as the Vikings take on the Ladysmith Cardinals.
What if I could tell you that a full-blown wildfire was going to occur tomorrow right where you live? Tell you exactly which neighborhoods it would engulf and how fast it would do it. The first thing you would do is talk with your loved ones and make a plan today. It's true, I can't tell you a wildfire will strike tomorrow, but shouldn't you make a plan anyway? Visit readywisconsin.wi.gov and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait, communicate. Brought to you by Ready Wisconsin, FEMA, and the Ad Council.
You've been listening to Viking Postgame, a wrap-up of today's Colfax Viking girls game. You can catch Colfax Vikings games by tuning in to any of the Northern Light Webcasting Network outlets. This has been a production of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Northern Light Webcasting Network is proud to present Colfax Viking basketball for the 2019-2020 season. Join us tomorrow night as the Viking boys take on the Ladysmith Cardinals. Viking pregame begins at 7 o'clock and live play-by-play begins at 7:10 right here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network.